Hello everyone and welcome to Poser's Full Movie Recaps. Today, our film is about an overweight young woman who concocted her own experimental diet shake, so she can lose weight faster for a party. Unaware that the vegetables she used for the shake come from irradiated soil, she did miraculously lose weight in no time. As a result, it makes her ravenously hungry all the time, even for human fats. It all begins at Merville Nursery where a chubby young woman named Jody Merville is working in the greenhouse, harvesting vegetables. Her father approaches Jody to try to convince her to eat the spaghetti he made, because his daughter stops eating anything and replace her diet with her own experimental vegetable shake. Jody refuses her father since she's very determined to lose weight fast, so she can look her best for a popular schoolmate's birthday party she plans to attend. Her father expresses concern that she is much too focused on this party, but Jody is adamant about continuing her diet plan. Before leaving, her father unknowingly picks up green meteor rocks in the soil in which the vegetables are growing. The next day at school, Jody is cutting the heads off pictures of supermodels and pasting their bodies into her scrapbook with pictures of her own head, when Chloe Sullivan and Pete Ross approach and ask for help with their algebra assignment. When she asks why their other friend Clark isn't helping, Pete answers that he's too preoccupied with helping Lana, the birthday girl. When they offer to buy her lunch in exchange for her help, the two are introduced to her vegetable drink which looks extremely unappetizing, and Jody comments that losing weight is not pretty. A school bully named Dustin approaches the trio who adds a cutting remark about Jody's weight, and tips off her drink that splashes in her shirt. Chloe and Pete defend her gallantly, even after Jody walks out on them. Back home, Jody's father tries once more to unsuccessfully encourage her daughter to eat something else, but Jody is more determined to shed some weight after the recent events. When she proceeded to weigh herself on a weighing scale, she is surprised to see a dramatic result after only a couple of days on her new diet. She watches in the mirror as her double chin recedes, and when she checks her weight again, she finds that she loses 29 pounds as she watches the numbers on the scale go down. At a local millionaire's mansion, Lex is just finishing up a physical examination, in which the doctor is surprised by an unusually high white cell count, but he doesn't suspect leukemia. Lex explains that he never gets sick but he used to have asthma until he lost his hair, and the doctor comments that he sees a lot of this in their small town. He adds that many of the people think that it is because of Lex's family fertilizer plant that contaminates the environment. Later, Lex checks out the town's Torch website and sees one of Chloe's stories about their county being one of America's strangest towns. Meanwhile, Lana's Aunt Nell is planning for her birthday party, while Clark and Lana study for the math midterm. Lana explains that the extravagant party is more than she wants, and Clark comments that having a birthday party at Lex's mansion seems pretty cool to him. A moment later, Lana's boyfriend Whitney shows up to tell the girl that he got the chance to try out for the Kansas State football team, so he's going to miss her party. Back at school, Jody works up the courage to ask Pete to Lana's party, who surprises the boy with her thinner body. Pete is speechless when asked to go with her as his escort, so Clark steps up to answer yes for him. Later, Lana visits Clark's family farm to order some produce for the party and meets with Clark's parents Jonathan and Martha Kent. When Clark arrives home, he offers to be her escort at the party, which the girl accepts, but makes him promise that unlike last time, he will actually show up. At Jody's, she makes herself another shake and checks her weight afterward. She watches as her waistline melts away, and loses another 27 pounds in seconds. Initially, she is elated, but then she feels an overwhelming craving and rushes to the kitchen to frantically eat everything she can grab. She spies her vegetable shake and guesses that it is responsible for her insatiable appetite, and throws it against the wall in rage. Confused about what is happening to her, Jody drives in the pouring rain while eating hamburgers and milkshakes. She accidentally hits a deer that steps out on the road, and when she checks it out, Jody's stomach rumbles, her face monstrously contorts, and she seems to uncontrollably devour the deer. Sometime later, Clark is spying on Lana in his loft when Whitney gives her a book for her birthday. Chloe walks in and teases him about spying, then she tells him about a mysterious story in the paper about a deer found dead on Route 5. They are listing the cause of death as unknown, and Chloe wants Clark to go down to animal control and help her check it out. They find the deer and take some pictures, and check the lab report, which says that it lost 80% of its body fat. The two jokingly guess that it has been liposuctioned to death by a fat-sucking vampire, and while this happens, Jody hides from her dad in the bathroom surrounded by hamburger wrappers and pizza boxes. At school, Clark finds Lex reading Chloe's Wall of Weird, where she compiles all the strangest and unexplainable events that happened in their town. Clark explains Chloe's theory that everything weird can be traced back to the meteor shower that happens when they were young, and as Chloe arrives, Lex expresses that he likes her theory and offers her a summer job. She tells him that only Dr. Hamilton shares her opinion, but he's been reduced to selling plastic meteor chip to tourists. When Jody arrives at school, the young woman shows clear distress, and she isn't feeling well due to the effect of the veggie shake she's been consuming. When Dustin walks by, he makes another snide remark about her lost weight and Jody takes the opportunity to seduce him. With the new beautiful body, Dustin sneaks away with Jody to the football stadium and slips into a dark room, where the girl transforms again into monster and attacks the man. Also at the stadium, Lana is telling Clark that she hasn't had a happy birthday since her parents took her to a drive-in, when she was 3 years old. After Lana leaves, Clark suddenly hears a strange noise and discreetly investigates with his X-ray vision. Turns out that Clark is also a superpowered teenager, and when he enters the boiler room, he finds Dustin in very bad shape. Lex goes to visit Dr. Hamilton and offers to fund his research as a mineralogist to learn more about his medical condition, but the doctor refuses Lex's offer as he is not a fan of Lex's family. The next day, Chloe tells Clark that Dustin is in a coma, where his body went into shock from the loss of all his body fat, and probably would have died if Clark hadn't found him when he did. At the cafeteria, they join Jody, who is eating her food ravenously and is surprised by the girl's new demeanor. On the night of Lana's party, Clark is getting ready to go when Chloe shows up and tells Clark about the body and fender for bodywork done to Jody's car. They suspect that she must have hit the deer, and her behavior might be related to her rapid weight loss. They remember their friend Pete, who might be in danger, and is picking up Jody soon as his date to Lana's party. Meanwhile, Pete arrives at the Melville house to pick up Jody, but as just they start to leave the house, the girl's stomach grumbles. Pete wants to take her to the hospital, but Jody runs back into the house where the young man follows. She asks Pete to leave her alone, as she doesn't want to accidentally attack him because Pete has been nothing but kind to her in the past. It's too late though, because Jody uncontrollably knocks Pete in the head and renders him unconscious. Clark arrives in time before she can do any further harm to Pete, and seeing Clark, Jody scampers through the back door and hides in the greenhouse. Clark follows her but finds the place full of meteor rocks, which turns out to be Clark's weakness as he is super allergic to them. Jody bashes him over the head with a shovel, and when she goes for the killing blow, she catches sight of her reflection and is repulsed by what she was about to do. She goes into a rage, bashing in what appears to be a gas line, and smashes the lights, which causes electric sparks that ignite the gas, creating a terrific explosion. Clark grabs her and protects her from the blast, just as Pete comes and joins them behind the house. Meanwhile, at the Luther mansion, Lana is hiding from her guests and is obviously disappointed that Clark didn't show up again. Lex opens some mail from Dr. Vargas and goes to see Dr. Hamilton, and tells him that he has been given a clean bill of health. He gives Dr. Hamilton a check for $100,000, insisting that he continue his research regarding the link between meteors and human health. Clark tells his parents that Jody is on her way to the hospital, then leaves to visit Lana to apologize. Lana gives him a hard time for not showing up at her party, but she lets him give her his present, which has recreated her last happy birthday with a drive-in movie, complete with popcorn and Bugs Bunny cartoons. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. You can also hit the notification bell and like the video to help the channel out. Thank you.